Make the right choice. Find out what that choice is in this episode of 5 Minutes Closer. I'm Vaughn Weatherford, and this is 5 Minutes Closer. For the next 5 minutes, let's explore some biblical truths and apply them to your life. No podcast, including this one, can transform your life or give you what you really need. Only Jesus can do that. You can find out why in what I've called the first five episodes of 5 Minutes Closer. Each following episode explores scriptural truths that, if you follow them, will bring you 5 minutes closer to the person God created you to be. Let's see if we can get you 5 minutes closer. It's great to know someone who is true to their word. If they tell you something, that's what they're going to do. We look for folks like that because, unfortunately, we've encountered situations where that wasn't the case. The auto mechanic who promised to fix your car by Tuesday, and now it's Thursday. The plumber who said they'd fix the leak, a fact to which we would beg to differ as we stand in the puddle in our basement. The dentist who said our appointment would be at 2:30, and we are still sitting in the waiting room at 4 in the afternoon. We don't like that. If someone tells us something, we want to believe that what they said is true. You can do that with God. What God has said is what He will do. Moses knew that if the Israelites could just remember that, it would save them a world of problems. In Deuteronomy chapter 7, verses 9 and 10, he reminds the Israelites of the faithfulness of God. Then in verse 11, he concludes with these words, "You shall therefore be careful to do the commandment and the statutes and the rules that I command you today." There are times when I read the scripture and struggle to figure out the complete meaning. There are sections of Revelation that I just don't fully understand. I know how the story ends. I'm just unsure about some of the details. But that's okay. The Bible is infinitely deep. The more I learn about the scripture, the more I realize I still have to learn. The deeper I dig, the more treasure I find. There are passages, however, that you don't need a seminary degree and a library of commentaries to understand. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 11 is one of those passages. I know what this means. God alone is God, so do what He says. That would be arrogant except for one thing. This is God. He has a right to say that He is God, and not only the right, He is right. You can't do better than to do what God has said. Some options in life either don't matter or they're not really all that significant. For example, you can choose a Coke or a Pepsi. Some people are Coca-Cola fans. Some may be Pepsi fans. You may think one is too sweet, or you may think that one is more refreshing. In the end, it doesn't really matter. It's cola. Drink the one you like and be done with it. Some choices matter. For example, you can choose whether or not you want to breathe. You can take a nice deep breath or act like a 2-year-old with a temper tantrum and hold your breath. If you do, one of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to hit your limit and finally breathe again, or you'll pass out, at which time you'll start breathing again. You can choose whether or not to breathe, but the reality is, as long as you're alive, you actually can't choose. Sooner or later, you're going to breathe. We need to understand that God allows us to choose to worship Him or to worship something else or not to worship at all. Whatever choice you make, it doesn't change the reality. Who you choose to worship doesn't change the fact that God alone is God. He is God, whether you acknowledge it or not. Your choice also doesn't change whether or not you will eventually acknowledge Him as God. You will. Just read Jesus' story about the rich man and Lazarus in Luke chapter 16. Both men die on the same day. Lazarus goes to be with God in heaven. The rich man, who worshiped his money instead of God, does not. However, the rich man immediately realizes his mistake, begging to go back and warn the rest of his family. You're going to worship God one way or another. The good news is you get to choose when. Worshiping God now is a much better choice. And now, you're 5 minutes closer. My prayer is that these 5 minutes have challenged you, inspired you, and caused you to consider applying God's message for your life from His Word. To find out more, visit our website at 5minutescloser.com. Join me next time to see if we can get you 5 minutes closer.